The last piece of functionality we have to implement is the delete functionality. To implement delete functionality, let's add a fourth column to the table and let's add a delete link in each of the rows. So let's go to our JSX. Let's expand our div for the books table. And in our header over here, we have to add a fourth header. So I'm going to type th and I'll leave the header as empty for the fourth column. And in our table body, for each row, we need to add a fourth column. So I'm going to type td and I'm going to add an anchor tag. Let's specify ahref equals hash and the text needs to be delete. Let's look at our UI and we can see that a delete link is being shown in the fourth column now. Clicking on the delete link should send an API call with the HTTP method delete, and that should result in the record with the corresponding ID to be deleted. And we also want the table to be updated after that. So let's do that. So let me add an event handler over here. So I'm going to write on click and I'm going to specify the event handler as handle delete. When we call the handle delete event handler, we need to pass the ID of the book record that needs to be deleted. So let's pass book.id over here as a parameter. But as soon as we do that, this is no longer a function definition. This is a function call. To our onClick event handler, we have to pass in a function definition. So let's convert this into an arrow function and make it a function definition. So I'm going to specify empty brackets for the parameters and I'm going to specify the arrow. And now this is a function definition. So our event handler will ultimately call handle delete with the ID of the book that needs to be deleted. So now let us write code for handle delete. So I'm going to type const handle delete. Let's make it an arrow function and let's specify the curly braces to indicate the function body. Handle delete is receiving one parameter, which is the book's ID. So let's specify the parameter name as book ID over here. And in the function body, we want to make a delete HTTP request call. So I'm going to write api.delete and I'm going to specify the URL using template literals because we want to do string interpolation here. So I'm going to specify the URL as /books/ followed by string interpolation using $ and curly braces. And I'll specify book ID as the variable to interpolate. Let me close the template literal by specifying the backtick. And now we have written code to make our delete HTTP call. Just like before, let's add the await keyword over here because we will need to write code below this line also. And since we have used the await keyword, we need to mark this function as an async function. So let's write async over here. So we have used await and async over here. After the book gets deleted, we want to update the table, which is similar to what we did when we added a book. So let's copy the code from here, from the handle add function call and paste it over here. Let us now check if this works. Let us click on this delete link. That means the book record with ID 3 should get deleted. So I'm going to click on that now and you can see that the book record with ID 3 got deleted. Let me refresh the page and you can see that the book records with only ID 1 and 2 are being shown. Let's add a little bit of CSS for these delete links now. So I'm going to go to the CSS file and I'm going to add some CSS now. I have added the CSS now. What we are saying here is we want the last column in the table to have its text in red color and we want the text to be extra small. So let's look at the web page now and you can see that these links are appearing in red color and they are using a smaller font size. So it looks like our delete functionality is also working correctly now, but we have to make a couple of improvements to our code. Since we are using links for clear and delete, we have to call event.prevent default within their event handlers. So I have done that here for the delete link. I have specified E for the synthetic event and I have called e.prevent default over here, and then that is followed by the handle delete function call. Similarly for the clear link, in the handle clear event handler, I have specified E for the synthetic event and I have specified e.prevent default at the top. Once we do that, there will be a difference in what happens in the URL over here. If you observe the URL is localhost:3000, and previously before we specified event.prevent default, the URL was changing from localhost:3000 to localhost:3000/hash. But now after adding event.prevent default, this URL will remain like this only and /hash will not be added to it. Let's verify that. Let's add a new book called title 3 and let's specify the author as author 3 and let's click on add. And let us click on this delete link now and observe the URL over here. So I'm clicking on this delete link now, and you can see that the book with ID 3 has been deleted and the URL does not have /hash in it. Let's search for title 1. I'm clicking on search now, and then I'm going to click on this clear link now, and you can see that everything is working like before and the URL also has not changed. The reason we have to add event.prevent default for links is because we want these links clear and delete to look like links, but we want them to act like buttons. So by calling event.prevent default, we will be cancelling the default behavior of the links. So we have implemented the functionality that was specified in the UI wireframe. We are displaying the book's data out here. We are able to delete individual records. We are able to add new records, and we are able to search for records as well. So we have finished implementing the example.